Welcome to the channel again, everyone. If you like Toyota MR2s, this video is for you. I didn't think I would get another MR2 in my collection, but today's a special day. First, let me talk about this. I reviewed this a while ago if you want to look it up. It's made by Micro Turbo, and it's the second generation SW20 MR2. And it turned out to be a pretty fantastic diecast. I generally don't like opening panels, which is why I chose to get this one in black. But this has had a little lever here, and you see in black it's not so bad. And actually this is a black metallic, by the way, so maybe you can see the speckling there. But you can pop these things up and down, and there's 6 pieces of plastic here. The headlights, the turn signals, the fog lights, all clear lenses. Also in the back, nice clear lenses with color separation. The exhausts are tubular shaped. Standard nicely detailed interior there. Shiny reflective mirrors, nice tread patterns, and if you really wanted to, you could unscrew it and modify it or whatnot. So yeah, turned out alright. He's in a rear view mirror. So the reason why I brought that out is, well, if you read the title of this video, you already know what's going to happen. You're going to look at this one. What I didn't tell you is this is my very first free model. The people at Micro Turbo, they seem to watch my videos apparently and pay attention to the comments that you guys make. And so they sent me 2 models. This is one of the 2. The other one will show tomorrow. So it looks like a customized version of the SW20. In this case, it says back there SW20 Revision 4, and it's nice as in silver, so it's in good contrast. So let's see. Oh, another thing I complained about with the first one, it came with a really funky, weird box that isn't standard. But this is a standard size box, so you can stack it up with all your other premium diecasts. Looking at the base of this cardboard, we have a holographic licensed product sticker, the actual Toyota licensing. It tells you what it is, and it's in metallic silver. Contact information, Facebook, all that socials and stuff, and also Pico. Alright. And what does that say? Oh yeah, the pop-up headlight switch. Okay. So, shrink wrapped. Let's get this guy open. Preferably without scratching that. I'll cut it on the bottom. So I'm not going to talk about this car. I've already spoken about it in the previous models review. Well, this is good. So a lot of times these companies have an extra piece of cardboard to tighten up the sleeve. This doesn't waste that material. It's just a sleeve. And then yeah, there we go. Any tape? No tape. So that sleeve is what's holding it together. But pretty decent base there. It's not gonna. The cover isn't super loose. Still not a good habit to lift things by the cover though. And then we have a nice textured, kind of like a carbon fiber texture. It's literally molded in. It's not a graphic. I can feel it. There. You can hear it now. So that's interesting. And then on the base it says Micro Turbo. There's 1 screw and some sort of plastic thing. I will say it's kind of odd that there's nothing printed here saying Micro Turbo, you know, taking credit for the model if someone doesn't want to take it off the base. I don't see any delicate parts hanging off, like tow hooks, so I think we should take it off the base. And to be fair to the company that sent me this, I think I should show you guys everything. So, sorry, I'm just looking for that screwdriver. What I will say though, when it comes to all these plastic cases, if you do stack them, these screws, especially if they're the same brand, they will snag, you know, rest inside this cavity, right? The next box. So I've scratched some tops, the box sitting under this with the screw head. So I suggest if you keep things in the boxes, you just cover it up with some tape of some sort or a sticker, right? So you don't scratch up the box underneath it. Alright, so I was looking at it, you know, through the packaging. I was trying to find images for you guys. I think this is kind of a mix of their own design, but inspired by other things. So the rear wing here, I do believe, is actually a Toyota Racing Development wing. because it has this triangular base, and it also sweeps up. So this sweeps up, it has a triangular base. So that's some pretty good inspiration, if not the actual intention of the design of this rear wing. The front spoiler is a little more tricky. This lip here is called a DAIE super lip, and then this one over here is called a Bomex front lip. And they both have, you know, this outer wing barge board kind of thing that this thing has. This is definitely similar to this louvered cover, which is made by a company called Ask, and they're basically trying to copy the Ferrari F40 louvers on the back of that thing. I didn't even see the diffuser, so I didn't even bother looking that up. Maybe that's also, you know, a real thing, a real product out there. So let me get this camera a little lower. Okay, I had to pop in a cough drop, but it's really dry here right now. It's winter, and so the air is really dry. I have a dry throat. Alright. I'm not going to talk about this car. I spoke about that the first time I reviewed the black one. Sorry, there seems to be some sort of dust or something going on here. Yeah. Alright, look at these wheels. These are not your standard wheels. They look like raised T37s to me. And they have the 5 lug nuts there. Let me zoom in on this front one. Yeah, nicely molded, center cap. It looks like a gray metallic wheel. Let's see. Even though this is free, I should be nice. I'm a pretty honest reviewer. You know, I can't be really bought yet. I mean, if you guys start paying me more, but YouTube just doesn't pay people well. So my criticism here is that the tire, the sidewall, is not really bulging out. You know, the height seems relatively appropriate, but it just seems kind of slab-sided to me. But back to the wheel, looks very nice. And then yes, you have a silver rotor and a red caliper, so that makes pretty good sense to me. In the back, same thing. And you'll notice it's a lowered ride, so it definitely looks customized. Yeah, that rear tire is literally underneath the fender. Hold on here. So that's actually quite rare to have a lowered car be able to do this. Right? I mean, I'm not. Let me zoom out. It will actually roll. That's not common. It's not really my thing because it means it's going to roll off a bookshelf or something. But actually, I'll probably just put this back in the case now that it's standardized. So, but I know almost everyone asks that every week. Does it roll? So I apologize if I don't really look into that. It's just not high on my list of priorities. Okay, the door handle here, it's got some you know, depression here for fingertips, I guess, and then an outline of it, the fuel filler, and then you have the panel gaps. They're quite equal, quite nice. They're relatively thin. I mean, this is a dental pick after all. And then the silver paint, being metallic, does a great job of covering a diecast. Granted, the diecast is very similar in color, so, but that's good. You'll see here there's a side sill. I couldn't find any images of a side sill that looks like this. So this is why I think like this could be just a design within Micro Turbo themselves, just carrying along this theme of this barge board, you know, another barge board, and then diffusing it. Alright, so now the mirrors are totally different from that other one. These are custom mirrors, it looks like. I'm just looking back here. Yeah, they are different. I'll bring out the tray of comparison later. Yeah, they're so glossy black. It looks like the kind of mirrors where like air is supposed to be passing through there. And then, yeah, reflective mirrors. Well, they're reflective stickers, but they literally are reflectors. See the pick? So you can't get better than that as far as realism. This is painted on. It's a smooth surface, but they tampoed the window molding detail there. Alright, let's go around to the front. We have some molded raised wiper blades painted black. Looks good. You even have the little wind thing, the thing that presses down that blade on the one side of the car. Some louvers here molded in. Some venting, I'm guessing. And yeah, there seems to be like a sun banner or of some sort, but it's just black. I feel like that could be a decal, the wrinkliness of it. Okay. Alright, so, yeah, this is an issue for me. You know, the panel gaps, not a fan. But I'm just going to leave it like that. But if you want to leave it down, maybe it doesn't bother some of you guys, but it kind of bothers me. Especially on a silver car, because, you know, this is really light, and then it's black where the gaps are. Okay, but yeah. Go to sleep and waking up. So just like the other one, 6 plastic lights. You know, you have the light bulb detail back there, a light bulb detail back there, and some sort of 3-dimensional detailing behind the turn signals. Let's see. Yeah, it looks like there's like a slot back there, and then some other thing there. So a lot of molded and nice, details that are going on behind the actual lenses. So it's very nice, you know, to have. The Toyota logo there is nicely printed. So hard to see silver and silver, but it is there. The grille has some sort of egg crate pattern. And hold on here, let me back out. I don't know if that's the diecast or plastic. I have a feeling that's actually the diecast. Okay, so the chin lip here seems like it's plastic. I could be wrong, but it's so thin. That's what makes me think it is plastic. And I'm gonna guess it's actually glued onto the standard base, which is why that standard base had all these holes. See those peg holes? So they're future-proofing this. You know, they're thinking about making customs by adding on these details. While we're down here, we might as well check out the rest. So micro turbo 2020-ish. That's production code of some sort, scale, and then you start losing the Toyota. It is there, but it's a little bit lost because of the side skirt thing. I think they're actually using crazy glue. That might be the vapor, that white vapor you get. And then the diffuser here is now taking place of that muffler in the first one. And nice thin strakes. Seems is plastic, I think. That's what that part of the molding process. Okay, well, I guess we'll wrap around to the back then. So, no license plate, so I must have added that plate to that other one. Just a recess there. It does say MR2 in the middle. And that's nicely crisply done. The backup lights are actually silver. You know, there's actually silver behind the clear. And then, yeah, the red, the orange, and there's black printing or something on the outside. But it's very glossy. I don't know, it's so glossy, I don't know if that's printing. It almost feels like it's black plastic, but then other plastic behind it. Or maybe they clear coated it after the black. It's just that it looks like it's all plastic and not paint on top of plastic. This silver is paint on top of plastic. Sorry, I like to ramble on about how things are made. That was a great TV show, by the way. Okay, Toyota badge there. I gotta say, the casting here is a little bit rough, so be mindful of that. The exhaust tips, though, they are nice. They're very thin, and they are deep, so, I mean, they look like tubes. Those tubes are actually really thin. I don't know if those are plastic. Those are probably the thinnest plastic exhaust tips I've ever seen. Like, they're resin quality as far as the thinness goes, and they're actually round, so that's nice. Okay, the wing. Yeah, it definitely looks like a TRD wing with those triangles, and then it's just plastic, I think, just painted the same color. Ooh, I wonder if this is meant to come out. I don't know. I'll have to add some glue there. Alright, so the rear window here definitely looks like an F40, and it's also the same silver, body colored. No air there. Keep that in mind if that bothers you. Alright, this side of the car, any problems? I didn't even realize there's a reflector. Orange reflector printed on there with paint. Yeah, wheels look good. Yeah, that all looks good. Yeah, all looks good. I think there's black paint right there. You see here, this is clearly paint on top of the clear plastic. It's got like a matte finish almost. But back in these things, they're so glossy. So that's what's throwing me off. I think that's pretty much it as far as the outside goes. Now, oh boy. was seeing if this will come off because the screw is underneath this piece. I can feel it wiggling a little bit, but if it's crazy glue, it's going to be tough. I'm now noticing there's some louvers back in here. Let me back out again. Those sound like plastic. And there's some sort of silver thing going on here. I don't know. It could actually be the crossover pipe here for the muffler. Maybe there's a muffler underneath this diffuser. Darn. I wish I could take it off so we could look at the interior a little bit better. But I also don't want to break this. I mean, it was a gift after all. Alright, we're going to have to just revert to the good old flashlight. Alright. Lumen level 15. Let's see about this. Sorry, my oily fingerprints. So we obviously have some red seats with some cushioning. And then the dashboard details is molded, but there's no actual instrument gauges or anything like that. Steering wheel looks modern-ish. Here's a rear view mirror. I wonder if that has reflectivity. It looks like it might be painted silver. Let me reduce this down to 1. You'll have to make the call. I suspect that might be silver. I'm trying to see it through my phone screen. It's hard to say. I'm trying to see if there's anything. No, I guess it's just the wall behind. And no engine detail because it's actually literally covered with the louvers. The other one didn't have engine details either. It just had the horizontal flat hood. Alright, well I guess that's it then. So, tray of comparison time, hold on. Alright, I was gonna get the tray of comparison already set, but watch. No, didn't happen. Yeah, never mind. Well, there. Sometimes the lights don't want to stay in the up position. Like there's not enough friction there. But an easy fix, if it is super loose, is to just either tape it in place, or I'm going to just put a little dab of poster putty there. So, I like it with the lights up. I think it looks a lot better. Same with the black one here. Alright, well the front end obviously looks somewhat similar. It's just the chin spoiler there is, the difference. But the side mirrors you can clearly see now. The black one has the stock OEM ones, whereas the silver is running custom side mirrors. Sorry, trying to focus on the silver cars. Doesn't seem to want to do so. Going to the side, we have obviously the stock wheels on the black one, and then the rays on the silver one. They have the same brake systems. And then this has the side skirt and obviously the diffuser, so that whole black theme is carrying across the whole bottom of the car there. And then the louvers do make it look quite different because this is a flat hood cover. And then the wing is obviously different. Let's see, back. So the stance is quite lowered. Right? The exhaust tips are literally in a different place. The bottom of the taillights is literally lower. The roof is lower. It's definitely a lowered ride. So that's actually quite different. I didn't expect that. I thought they would just have the same, just tack on all the parts, but leave it the same ride height. So I don't know if that means they literally modified the base. I mean, what's making the wheels lower? That means like the axles have to be riding up higher in the body. But I never took apart the black one, so I don't know what the insides are like because I didn't want to destroy that muffler. Alright, so that's pretty neat actually that they went through the trouble of changing the stance on that thing. So let me get some other MR2s out. Well, here's a segue. So I reviewed this Paro 64, the first generation one, and the canopy wasn't sitting down correctly because it had these two little studs sticking out of the bottom. I thought they were part of the molding process, but now I kind of think they're there on purpose to keep maybe the rear window from caving inwards or something. But the rear window is literally underneath those two studs, and so how I got this off is I literally got angry and I just pulled it upwards, and the majority of it wasn't glued in place. Only this one corner had a lot of glue, and I had to just wiggle it repeatedly to get it off. So the question is, when I push this back down, will the gappiness of the canopy go away? And just look at this. It's kind of funky. It's like a speedster. Right, I guess you could just remove the rear and it'd be a really funky speedster. Okay. So it's just got 4 pegs that go in here. And that's the front. Went in quite easily. And you'll see it still looks gappy. You know, between. So now I'm thinking, is this ridge here? Yeah, that plastic there. So this is a part of the molding sprue, the tree it came off of, I believe. Hold on, focus. That one is holding it up, but I think these two are actually meant to hold it in the body. Because, or am I wrong? Maybe I gotta sand all that off. Hold on here, let me check it again. The rear, I'm going to start with that. If I need to, I'm going to remove all that plastic, except for the 2 front ones. So you could obviously use like a nail file or something. I have this cutter here. No, it's too close. So I'm going to have to take a nail file. Let me come back. Alright, you can kind of see the roughness where I sanded it. I use this thing, it's called a sanding stick. It's like a spongy thing with really fine grit sandpaper on it. You can get it at a hobby store. I left the pegs on the back. They are supposed to go into those holes there. So, looks the same. So I'm afraid it's just not ever going to be a tight fit, at least by the side. But the rear also gappy. So I don't think I need to remove the plastic off the inside of the top surface of this piece. I don't think it was the culprit. Alright, well anyways, I tried. Now we know. I guess it just doesn't matter. So first generation goes up here. And so I think this is the latest midship runabout, right? The MRS. This is still pretty old though, but this is made by Kyosho. My notes say it lasted till 2007. I don't follow car news, so is there a new 2-seater midship runabout by Toyota? Either out there or in the works? You would think there'd be a market for such a thing. Alright, well, let's get a top view. Seems like the second generation was definitely the biggest. Probably the most heaviest as well, but I think the most powerful as well. Alright, get this out. Alright, well, Micro Turbo, I like that you made a completely different model from the first one. So it's a pretty good planning on your part to maximize your molding, amortize your molding, and get more product out there without a completely new investment. I like the fact that the seats on this one are red, so you can see a little bit more of the details compared to that first release. Suppose and I like the new packaging. Now I can keep this with all my other models and just stack them up. I guess the only minor criticism I have for this is the sidewalls. Maybe they could be a little bit more bulky. And it's a tough call. I mean, if you look at the image behind, those tires actually aren't even sticking out. They're actually going inwards. So, yeah, maybe my critique of the sidewalls doesn't make sense. You know, I think of old school tires where they definitely have a more ballooning effect to them. But modern low profile rims don't have that. Modern low profile tires don't have that so much. Alright, well anyways, if you like rolling models with a lot of detail, this is for you guys. So you might want to check it out. I'm pretty happy I got it, and I just want to give thanks to Micro Turbo for trusting me to review your models. and hopefully you viewers will appreciate that I try to be as honest as I can, if not abrasive in many cases. So if this is a TLV, I probably would have been really harsh. It's just my habit. They do make good stuff though, TLV. Yeah, so anyways. Alright, well thanks for watching, guys, and stay tuned. Tomorrow I'm going to jump the queue and put the other model up, because I feel, you know, if a company's going to send me free models, they deserve a right to jump the queue of models that I purchase with my own money. I will also note that a couple of you viewers have offered to send me models, and I really appreciate that, but international shipping is so high, I don't want to have anyone spend their personal money sending me models. But if a business wants to do so, yes, that's part of your business. I'm considered your marketing, or part of your marketing effort. So I'd be happy to, you know, review any models from any company. And so again, thank you for Michael Turbo, and thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow. Bye now.